nuclear power plants and what are they?
There are two types of energy sources when we are talking about nuclear energy. One is called fission and the other one is called fusion. Now, what exactly is fission and fusion? To put it simply, fission is when we are destroying or splitting the nuclear substance into smaller pieces, which then will create a lot of energy, even more than the fossil fuels, that is. Besides energy, it will also create a lot of heat. Then what is fusion energy? Fusion energy is quite the opposite of fission. So when we're talking about fusion, it's actually smaller atoms which will become bigger and bigger over time. This is actually what is happening on the sun as well.
Then how are we really getting electricity out of this? Well, that is what the nuclear power plants are for. The way we make the electricity on a nuclear power plant is by placing some uranium rods into a tank filled with water. Now this water will start to boil after some time because of the friction which the fission is creating. After that, the steam of the water will run through a turbine which is connected to an electrical generator which is creating the electricity. But the process isn't quite done yet as the water can't be recycled. This happens by the means of a condenser and seawater. Now the steam that which is recycled into water again runs into the steam generator and the process will start over.
Now, what benefits does nuclear power have? Well, first of all, nuclear power does not affect the environment as the fossil fuels do. This means that it will not contribute to the global warming, and ensures a better life in the present and in the future. Nuclear power also contributes to the economics of the country as it's quite cheap to operate, and even if a nuclear power plant needs a lot of funding, it will on a broad scale only be beneficial. Besides, all of these nuclear power plants produces a lot of more energy compared to the fossil fuels.
Now nuclear power does also have quite some drawbacks as well. Some of these drawbacks are nuclear waste, the risk of explosions and fuel for nuclear weapons. Here it is the nuclear waste which is the main problem, as nuclear weapons can be built from that waste. Although there are a few solutions on how to get rid of that waste, which are by burying it into a mountain, down into the earth, or by dumping it into the seawater. But these solutions do not get rid of the problem entirely, as the nuclear waste is nuclear. So it will damage the surroundings of it and makes the affected area uninhabitable. Now this where fusion energy would be a great solution as it does not produce any nuclear waste. But there is only one problem, which is our current knowledge on the area is not vast enough to make it a primary use. In fact, we are still trying to figure out how to operate it correctly.
So to conclude it all, yes, nuclear power could be a substitute to fossil fuels. But it has a lot of drawbacks, and until we figure out a way on how to use fusion energy, fossil fuels will still be the primary source of energy and electricity.